US Vice President JD Vance has departed Pakistan after negotiations between the United States and Iran in Islamabad ended without an agreement. Speaking at a press conference shortly before his departure, Vance confirmed that the talks lasted nearly 21 hours and included what he described as a number of substantive discussions. However, despite prolonged engagement, both sides failed to reach a deal.
We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America.
Vance stated that the United States had clearly outlined its red lines, including what it was willing and unwilling to accept. According to him, the Iranian delegation chose not to agree to those terms. He emphasized that the core demand from Washington was a firm and long-term commitment from Iran that it would not pursue nuclear weapons or develop the capabilities to rapidly build them. While avoiding detailed disclosures, Vance reiterated that this remained the central objective of the U.S. position.
We go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms.
He also noted that although Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities had been destroyed, the key issue was whether Tehran would commit to not developing nuclear weapons in the future. According to Vance, that commitment was not secured during the talks.
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we've negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will.
The US Vice President added that a wide range of issues were discussed, including sanctions, nuclear policy, and regional conflict. Iranian frozen assets were also part of the discussions, but no agreement could be reached. Vance said the US delegation approached the negotiations in good faith and believed it had been flexible and accommodating. He added that US President Donald Trump had instructed the team to make their best effort to secure a deal. Despite that, Vance said no meaningful progress was achieved.
Get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible, we were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that, and unfortunately we weren't able to make any headway.
He confirmed that the US team remained in constant communication with President Trump and other senior officials throughout the negotiations. Before leaving, Vance said the United States had presented what it considers its final and best offer, and it now remains to be seen whether Iran will accept it.
Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it.
On the Iranian side, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baqai described the talks as extensive and detailed. He said multiple messages and texts were exchanged over the course of the negotiations. According to Baqai, discussions covered several major issues, including the Strait of Hormuz, nuclear matters, war reparations, sanctions relief, and an end to conflict involving Iran in the region. He stated that progress in the diplomatic process depends on the seriousness and good faith side of the opposing side, as well as recognition of Iran's rights and interests. He also stressed the importance of avoiding what he described as excessive demands. Both sides acknowledged Pakistan's role as a mediator. Vance praised Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Pakistan's leadership, saying the country had been an incredible host and had made genuine efforts to bridge differences. Bakai also expressed appreciation for Pakistan's efforts in facilitating the talks.
And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis, who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal.
The negotiations began on Saturday afternoon and were conducted over 3 sessions. Expert teams from both countries exchanged written proposals after each round. The discussions involved economic, military, legal, and nuclear experts. The talks took place during a 2-week ceasefire in the US-Israeli conflict with Iran, which began after hostilities escalated on February 28 and were temporarily paused on April 8 following Pakistan's intervention. The US delegation was led by JD Vance and included Jared Kushner and envoy Steve Witkoff. The Iranian delegation was headed by Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf and included Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Prior to the negotiations, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif held separate meetings with both delegations, expressing hope that the talks would contribute to regional peace and reaffirming Pakistan's commitment to facilitating dialogue. Despite the diplomatic engagement, key disagreements remain unresolved, particularly on nuclear restrictions, sanctions relief, and regional security issues, leaving the outcome of future negotiations uncertain.